Hey, it's Zach from What the Pod Was That and the All About Nothing podcast. And America's birthday is coming up faster than we can track. Celebrate Independence Day in style with ZJZ Designs' latest t-shirt collection on TeePublic. Introducing 3 brand new 4th of July heart designs that perfectly capture the spirit of America. These shirts feature vibrant, patriotic colors and unique heart-shaped designs that stand out at any celebration. Whether you're heading to a fireworks show, a barbecue, or just enjoying the summer sun, our 4th of July heart collection has something for everyone. Show off your love for the red, white, and blue with ZJZ Design. Visit ZJZ Design's TeePublic shop today and get ready to shine this Independence Day. Links in the show notes or visit ZJZDesigns.com and check out all the great designs. New designs come up often. ZJZDesigns.com.
The All About Nothing podcast may have language and content
that isn't appropriate for some.
Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah, I don't know how to introduce this any way other than this is
Thoughts
all
with Bill.
This is all about nothing.
Afterthoughts with Bill.
All
Bill.
about something.
Bill again. Excellent
What
notes.
did you do? Yeah, perfect notes. Yeah, got to
Thank you,
call
thank
them
you.
stuff.
You gave us more information than we would potentially need because Sheriff Lott was first of all, he's a professional when it comes to like media relations and things like that. So he's had so many years of being able to control the conversation and just be talkative and just
He didn't shy away from anything we gave him.
No,
it was like everything. I was wondering, I was real curious about the egg thing because I was like, I was wanting to see what he would say, and it was totally a thing.
Yeah, he's like, now all your viewers know that I'm a felon.
Yeah, a felon. Can't even vote.
I thought it was hysterical that you know his buddies basically were going to throw him under the bus and be like, we'll figure out how to get you out of jail.
Yeah,
You
hilarious.
motherfucker, use.
that was a good
is
story. I was
hilarious.
surprised that it was like a solid. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Also, the helping addicts thing. That's like something I feel like everybody talks about. Rehabilitation over criminalization seems like the best way to go all the time.
Yeah, agreed.
That was the hardest thing when my brother got in trouble. Was like, all right, yeah, he's in trouble. How do we fix it? And they're like, I don't know. At least they're taking him somewhere outside of like, today we're not taking you to jail. Count your lucky stars.
Yeah.
Do you want to be fixed? Do you want help? We're giving you an olive branch for help.
Yeah, I think I ultimately that's what it comes down to for a lot of people is they have to cross that threshold. They have to reach that point where they know, because it's not just something that you can get to on your own. It takes professional help. I don't know anyone that's ever been so far, like, with the situation with yours that you were talking about, Zach. Like I've never known anyone that was that in deep with drugs and things like that it's not something
when you
can
pick
fix on
somebody
your own.
up, like, and you're like, it's the 10th time, you're like, this ain't it.
Yeah,
This fucking ain't it. Like,
Yeah.
I would have tapped out 5 tries ago, buddy. Like,
yeah.
I can't do it. Like, this ain't it. That's why I really wanted to hear what he had to say.
Yeah.
Because I also have a lot of family that has the exact same issue, really into painkillers, really into meth, really into,
Right.
and it's like you give them chance after chance, year after year, and it's like you can't. At some point, it's them, and you can't. But it's like you still. I wish that there was still such more of a push than just saying no to drugs, or the old saying type thing where it's like give people necessary tools, make things more oriented towards doctors and not keeping people locked up. While researching this stuff for y'all, I found that America is the #1 country in the world as far as incarceration rates go. It's highest in the world, more than China. Like,
That's
and I was like, "There's no way this is real." Like, but it's there, and it's like.
well. Are
It's
we
not-
playing percentages like the deadliest occupation in America is president because 9% of them get killed?
Well, so but what he's saying is right, because for per capita, the United States has more people incarcerated than anywhere else on the planet, and I think a lot of that, it isn't necessarily just because we have the most criminals. It's not just because that high percentage number of people are criminals, but I think it's also because there are a lot of politics, things like that, but also corporations that use our justice system as a modern day slavery, especially with the penal system, as far as like federal convictions and things like that for minor drug possessions. You know, anything over whatever that low limit. Deputy Gruber, I see it now.
I don't think I said it during the recording. I changed it at the very end of it. I was like, I wonder if he's going to notice at all.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
I didn't know I had the ability to do that now. So y'all just watch out.
Yeah,
I won't do anything too crazy.
Jesus Christ.
But I think that's one of the big problems that we have, at least from a federal aspect, is that there are so many, and I don't know, I won't say that I think Richland County is participating in this, but I think in a lot of ways law enforcement is allowed to use the enforcement of laws as a way to racially profile. Because
for sure,
United States has so many African American men, especially, in jail for things that white people aren't being convicted of, that white people aren't being detained for.
Marijuana.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. When a dude has a pound of marijuana, has been in jail for like 30 years, you're like, fucking, can we not?
They didn't murder someone. They had just over a gram of or whatever, again, just barely over that threshold for what it takes to be arrested and then incarcerated and then, prosecuted.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's really bad because I believe, I think it's based off old statistics. I think it was like Pew Research or something. They were like, if you're a black male, you are 3.5 times more likely nationwide to be arrested for just marijuana possession over just
a white kid who has to stop it out. Yeah,
and it's like, how many years are they sending those people? The years that they're sending people to jail, it's like you said. I believe there was one person that went to jail for like 20 years for marijuana possession. I mean, like,
yeah.
How can you? And it's like a drug that's proven safer than alcohol.
Yeah.
Like it just is. And it's like, if we can have alcohol legal, which I get the DUI stuff, because
wasn't that
Sheriff
the
Lott was
wildest
talking about that
fucking part? Like, and I want to hear what you had to think about that on Bill, because he was like, I talked to all the sheriffs at our sheriff meeting, and it's a fucking disaster. These legal states are. I was like, that can't be right. Like, it can't be right.
So the issue, he's right on the fact that it's a state issue, right? When it's a state issue, it's kind of like the same thing with Oregon. They decriminalized drugs and stuff, but it was just in that state, not America total, right? So it's like there hasn't been a formal thing to handle everything. And so it's like California, there could be loopholes in that state versus, I don't know, Colorado, New York, the location of those places, that stuff, that is very real stuff. But to say that, like, it shouldn't be, he didn't say it shouldn't be legal medically, but like recreationally, I don't.
But then there was no answer for the CBD stores. He's like, well, they shouldn't. It's like,
because it's like, we should. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think part of the problem with the CBD stores and things like that is that just like he was saying, that they aren't there. There's no regulation to what it is they're selling, except for there is a legal amount of THC that is allowed to be in the product. But there's no one out there legitimately measuring how much actual CBD is.
There's no FDA.
Yeah.
That's it.
Which is a huge problem. If we were to legalize something like psilocybin, you have to have the FDA or some organization deal with it. You have to have doctors and experts deal with it. You can't just because essentially they've created a gray market drug. Delta 8. Kratom is another example. Kratom is another drug. People don't realize that you can get addicted to it. So it can. I want to say you can overdose on kratom.
Yes,
There's stuff with that too, and it's like there's no safety things. People aren't talking about these things to kids.
Yeah.
They're not talking about
thing.
specific drugs.
You can't. Scientists are not allowed to test on it because it's Schedule 3 or whatever.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And Biden just said, let's make weed Schedule 1. Right.
Well,
like that's
Schedule 3. Backwards.
Schedule 1 to Schedule 3.
I'm doing it backwards. But yeah. Exactly. You can't test on it. So like, well, we can't tell you statistics or
right.
What's
we can't
in
do
it
studies on it.
we can't get our hands on.
There's only one college, one university in the entire country that is doing any. And I don't even know if it's current, but there's only one university. University of Mississippi is the only university in the entire country that was doing any studies on marijuana use and its effect. That's it.
And that state didn't ratify the 13th Amendment until 2007.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
Fucking slavery. They didn't understand that, but here they are giving the weed.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Mississippi, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Alabama, potentially Georgia. These are the states that could potentially take away people's rights to vote, women's rights to vote, women's rights to own property, to have credit. Like these are legitimate. These are legitimately things that are in this Project 2025 that there are Republicans that absolutely want this, that if Trump wins office and takes office, that they legitimately are going to try and push through this idea that they're gonna do away with any they'll do away with the tenured federal employees, that they'll be able to fire them. Yeah,
that's
crazy.
We need to do a whole
stuff.
episode of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Well, they go off the cuff of anything. I mean, just anything will come up, and then sometimes they'll deny it. Sometimes they'll say, well, we won't worry about that or whatever. They just said it to fire up a crowd one day. But it's like, a lot of these things are real threats to America. I mean, our democratic republic. It's
like Congresswoman like Jackson, I believe her name is, sat there and grilled that dude. She's like, you wrote this fucking thing? And she's just listing off the fucking insanity. And he's just over there, all like, you want a dictatorship? Sure. Yeah. Like, he don't fucking care. That is a thing that is real, and that is the most dangerous thing about Trump being elected, is that will come to pass. There's no one who would stop it.
Yeah. And it is all, I don't know, Project 2025 is gonna, it'll be rough. And I talked to a lot of Republicans at the State House. Several of them I've gone to events, and there's Freedom Caucus events and stuff like that. And a lot of the Freedom Caucus Republicans have such a far right way of thinking about everything.
Yeah.
They say they're so pro-Constitution, but then they ignore a bunch of other stuff, but no one's asking them or really showing people their problems. I guess before they get elected into office, it seems to me, I wish there was just a better way for people to see what these people actually think.
Yeah.
They create like woke meters, or not woke meters, but conservative meters, which they have woke meters too.
I don't think they understand the repercussions of what it is that they're pushing. And that's the same as I don't think they understand. Look, if I thought that Biden was a threat to democracy, if I thought that Biden was a threat to our Constitution, if I thought that if there was a part of me that believed that Biden himself didn't have the physical or mental ability to be the president of the United States, I'd be the first person to tell you. I mean, I'm highly observant of people's behaviors, and I don't see the cognitive decline that people keep talking about with Biden. If I did, I would tell you. But I do see it with Trump. Like, what I see with Biden is he's just old. And do I want him to be president? If it's him or Trump, I want Biden to be president. But I don't see the issues that the right wing media will tell you are there. When it comes to Trump, I do see it, and nobody has to point it out to me.
Well, listen, they got the dog caught the car when it came to Biden's son being convicted.
Yeah.
Wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Deep state, sacrificial lamb, all this shit. That was the dude Hunter Biden was the dude they wanted. Got him for whatever it matters, because apparently it does. He's not running for president, so who
cares?
Yeah.
They got him, and it wasn't enough.
Well,
It's never enough.
and they got him for something that I don't think
Lying about being on drugs while he got a gun.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has been prosecuted for lying on a form to buy a gun. Now, is it a crime? Yeah, it's a crime. And
The right wing should be like, he shouldn't even have to ask that goddamn question.
right.
Exactly.
That's where their stand should be. But
Yeah.
but that's the thing that I don't think that a lot of these ultra right wing conservatives understand. Again, it's the repercussions of if Donald Trump winds up being granted immunity, and you can't prosecute him for January 6th, and you can't prosecute him for the documents down in Mar-a-Lago. If you can't prosecute him for these things, what you are giving Biden is a free pass to do anything he wants.
Oh, yeah. It's on the list of shit that don't fucking count.
And ultimately, I think that's the reason that the Supreme Court isn't going to render a decision in favor of Donald Trump, that he is not going to be immune from the things that he did that were not official acts.
Well,
Yeah.
you can't buy him an RV. We know that. So it's going to take something more.
Well, and it's too like there's just so much hypocrisy on the sides, because it's like if you say something like Donald Trump on all 34 counts should not be guilty, he did not do this, he did not do that, the whole thing is rigged.
Yeah.
And then look at Hunter Biden's case and be like, he did it. It was all this and that. It was like you're picking sides of the justice system, or like I don't understand.
They do it with the Bible, Bill. Of course they're going to do it with the law.
Well, that true, very true. Well, it's so funny. Imagine, like a lot of the places, a lot of states on federal property are trying to put up stuff like the 10 Commandments on things, like religious stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of the people who may be evangelical Christians who are much more Republican or conservative would want to vote to have the 10 Commandments or something like that in these places. And it's like, if you do that, you immediately open the door to any other religion or thing putting their stuff on the same federal property, right?
That's why I love the Satanic Temple. Yeah.
The Satanic Temple, the same thing happened. And it's like,
yep.
You have all this stuff, and it's like, those are the repercussions. If you're a conservative, you should think about. Yeah. Those are the things. This is law, not just America is not using the Bible for its moral stuff. It's using law that we've written. We're one of the oldest.
Yeah. No, you're exactly, dude. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you're exactly right. Lucian Graves, you need people like Lucian Graves who runs the Satanic Temple. Do they believe Satan's real? Not at all. They're all atheists, and they just built a code of conduct and said it's a religion, and you have to respect it just as much as anyone has to respect yours. But when you tag Satan's name on it, people start freaking the fuck out, and it's hilarious.
The First Amendment of our Constitution is Congress shall make no law.
Establishing
respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the thereof. But it's still like
it's in direct.
You have to. Is direct. The first thing it says, you can't do it. You shouldn't do it,
and it's in direct contradiction to what it is that a lot of like the state of Texas and the state of Mississippi and the state of Arkansas are trying to do with enforcing this idea that you have to put up. You know what? You want to put the 10 Commandments? I'll just say it right now. I really don't care if they put. Like
I do.
Oh, I don't either. If they do, but if they do, they open the door.
Well, the reason I don't care that they do it is because
3 of those laws matter to anybody else.
Right. They're trying to enforce this moral law that ultimately, I don't have a problem with schools teaching my children what are. But if you let that happen laws.
One day, you can't draw fucking God, just like you can't draw Muhammad because no graven image and shit like that. Like, so no, you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile.
But
they don't even respect the Johnson Amendment. You have fucking Chris Dickhead over in North Carolina preaching all these preachers, these Baptists talk about Trump, 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 Trump. You're violating the fucking Johnson Amendment and should have your tax exempt status revoked.
See,
you're breaking the fucking law.
But I think it's a red herring. I think that this idea, them trying to pass these laws allowing for schools to hang the 10 Commandments, I think it's a red herring because essentially, I mean, literally, we as Democrats gave Republicans the border bill that they have always wanted. We gave them the we
they didn't take it.
Yeah, sorry. I just want to say for record, I don't consider myself a Democrat.
No, that's fine.
So that's the only.
But like they had everything that they wanted in a border bill, and they didn't do it. I think these things are red herrings just to see how far they can push. I don't think they were going to go for it even if Trump didn't jump in. I really don't. I think the plan. I think for the MAGA end of it, I think they always were going to put a stop to it. I don't think they were ever going to pass it. I think that when it comes to like these allowing for or trying to enforce this idea that these schools have to can hang the 10 Commandments, it's going to be the same as the Constitution that's hanging on the wall. It's going to be the same as the Pledge of Allegiance that's hanging on the wall. They're not reading it. They're not looking at it.
Yeah.
And
if you don't pay taxes, you don't get fucking shit.
Yeah. I agree.
But the thing is, I mean, you also have to keep in mind, we've already, in a way, our government has already ingrained a lot of specifically Christian things into our money, our Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah,
we did that in the 1950s.
That's which, your
funny enough, it was
whitening of America.
Yeah, it's. So we still have a lot of those things, and it's like even trying to mention stepping back from that to bring it so that we can all use the First Amendment. I'm a journalist. I believe that I have a strong belief that the First Amendment should be for the people and for Americans, but you can't pick sides with it. And if you're in power and you use the First Amendment to implement a side to a lot of this, it immediately becomes dangerous. And I think Christians should be very worried about that as well. As Christians.
You're setting the precedent.
Even Ott brought up the fair point. He goes, well, that was also to protect the church. And I was like, yeah,
very true.
But that's not who needs protecting now, because the church is heavy. There's one on every block. Yeah. And the reason they don't care that your money says in God we trust, that in the Pledge of Allegiance you have to say one nation under God. It's because they're like, well, most of us think that anyway, right? It's only the assholes who really fucking care.
Sure.
But when you bring what the Statue of Liberty says, bring me your huddled masses and everything, and they're like, nah, wow, time out. It's just, it's a game of uncomfortability, inability to check your own worldview and understand that someone doesn't think like you. If you're not doing any harm, you're fine. Religion does harm.
Well,
I would argue more harm than positive.
And just to point out that under God did not get added to the Pledge of Allegiance until June of 1954. That it wasn't part of the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh. It was added. It was
that's
added
your
in
Eisenhower.
Yeah,
all that shit. Yeah, that's when when it, at the same time as when it got added to the dollar.
Also, I think that when the Pledge of Allegiance was originally instated as, the pledge to the flag and things like that, that there were some specific hand signals that were supposed to be done along with it that we also don't do anymore. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no.
Thank you, Zach.
Well, the thing is, we also have to keep in mind too that when this stuff started, it was right after World War II.
Right.
I mean, people were
patriotism out the
grabbing
ass.
Their Bibles. I mean, they're not only patriotism, but they were, locking their Bibles to their chest. Like, I mean, they were everything they were doing. It didn't matter if you were Republican or Democrat. After World War II, it was, all Christianity. Like, it just took over.
Say you had Trump in the time of Eisenhower instead. What the fuck America would we be living in right now?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Because we'd
have a bunch of countries over here trying to kill him. It's probably because Eisenhower. On Jersey Shore.
Yeah, Eisenhower was he was considered a conservative Republican, but that he had that military background that sort of enlightened him to this is the way of the world. And
Well, he also made that treaty with the aliens. Don't forget that.
I've heard that. But
No,
Eisenhower
have you
led
heard
to,
that? It's a real thing.
well, I've heard that.
With the alien, was it after
They met.
I would have.
Well, so
Well, go
he's
ahead.
apparently he made a treaty with aliens, and this is a few years after Roswell, that they can abduct people, but they have to share their fucking toys
Yeah,
with America.
yeah. It's
Like,
I did not know that.
and
His
Wait,
granddaughter,
his
his daughter and granddaughter are out
Yeah.
there. They were out there like, yes, that's true.
yeah, his granddaughter completely admits to it. She says that it absolutely happened.
It was real.
That her grandfather told her
Mhm.
and her mother about it, and that this actually
Wow.
happened.
Yeah, and
wow.
that makes you understand why Marjorie Taylor Greene exists. Like that's fairy tales
Yeah.
get told to people.
That Marjorie Taylor Greene exists because there is a vat of toxic liquid somewhere that the Joker fell in, and what fell off of his face eventually formed into Marjorie Taylor Greene, and that's
Hit a toilet on the biggest turd
Yeah.
that anyone's ever seen.
yeah. It
Got
got flushed.
flushed.
The
And
suns
the-
didn't go down.
Go down.
And the place she lives has like 10 people that are
That is a
very
fact.
Republican.
That is a fact. No, I.
Oh,
so
Her whole not to derail it onto Marjorie Taylor Greene, but her whole like getting graced with her father's company, and she was CFO and basically did nothing,
No,
and then opened her CrossFit gym and fucked everybody who came in there. Like it's amazing that this woman's in Congress. I don't know what I'm fucking doing wrong. I have a podcast with you guys. I should be in Congress right now. I make decisions.
I will just say this. Yeah, I agree. It is it's difficult to look at some of these individuals, the Marjorie Taylor Greenes, the Lauren Boeberts, the Donald Trumps, you literally look at all of the facts and you see the type of people they are. You look at the things that they have not accomplished in their lives. And if it was
What?
anyone else, you look at these things and you go, that person's a fucktard. How is it? You look at the facts and you're like, how is it that this person gets to be who they are and where they are?
Dude, if you live in like
all of-
Marietta, Georgia, you just go, you are all dumb. I can control you with my mind.
Yeah,
Like, I
Yeah.
can do
it's insane.
this.
It's insane.
it is like one of those things, especially as a journalist, like we're supposed to like fact check things.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of the thing, and don't get me wrong, there's things of Biden that I've been very, very critical of. But it's also the fact that like you have more coming from one thing where it's like you have to correct so many things constantly. And it's like for people that are voting, they have to decide. I can't endorse any candidates, but I can say that like for people that are voting, they need to pay attention to those things. They need to make sure what's really happening with the First Amendment, what's happening with precedented cases, what's going on with Roe v. Wade. You have the right to privacy, even though a lot of lawyers may say that Roe v. Wade is bad law. You have the right to privacy. You have a lot of. You've got to pay attention to that stuff.
I think Occam's razor plays a big deal into a lot of things. Just go by that a little bit. The most obvious explanation is usually the pretty correct explanation.
Yeah,
It's not any more deeper than that.
I if it was anyone else, if it was, because Democrats are they're usually, half the time they're pretty good about sacrificing their own when one of the Democrats has done something that's blatantly illegal or that they've gotten in trouble or busted for something. I mean, look at I don't even know that Hunter Biden is a Democrat. I assume he's probably a Democrat because his dad's president.
Bob Mendez.
Yeah, Bob Mendez.
Mendez.
The other guy, who's the House rep that also just got busted, or he's going to be on trial here at some point.
He's talking about fancy pants. What was his name? Oh my god!
Shoot,
You're talking about the one.
I know.
You're talking about the one out of New York. The one that was a drag queen in Brazil or whatever too.
How long did that take?
Or Cuomo's another one.
Cuomo's another one they went after. So the only example
George
the Republicans,
Santos.
the only example the Republicans
Santos,
have is
yeah.
George Santos, as far as the one that they took down. But the only
It
reason
took forever.
the only reason they took him down was because it was like he wasn't going to get reelected. They were going to if he came up as the incumbent, they were going to lose that seat. Well, they lost it anyway.
He's running again.
Yeah, I know.
Well, and it's to the fact that a lot of these candidates, like a lot of these electoral maps, another thing that I look at a lot, especially with my brother, if you ever want to talk to my brother, I've never seen anybody more addicted to electoral maps and memorizing things. But it's like gerrymandering, all that kind of stuff. But, I mean, you can just see how, just with, so I forgot where I was going with it. I was trying to think of like the electoral college stuff, not electoral college, but stuff with New York.
Oh, with the
forget about it.
God damn it, Bill! No,
I know. I forgot about it. I went on a tangent complimenting my brother, and I fully forgot where I was going with it.
No worries.
It happens to the best of us.
Well,
Usually,
I'm about to have to hop off anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll have to wrap up this thoughts with Bill.
We should keep doing.
Clearly,
this.
my thoughts are getting.
No, this is definitely going up as a member thing. That's for sure. So, all right, we'll just wrap it up. Thoughts with Bill on the All About Nothing podcast. Bill, do you have any?
You come up with a witty catchphrase like, "Dan, that's what I think."
And
that's how the cookie crumbles.
That's the way we eat the cookies that crumble.
Or
that's the way.
What's his name?
Roy
D. Mercer or God damn it. Dude was on John Boy and Billy.
Oh,
Robert Redford.
Redford, yeah. What was it he said? Not Robert Redford. It was I know who you're talking about, but what was it? The guy Will Ferrell's character from Ron Burgundy? What was it? And fuck you, San Diego.
Oh yeah, that was Anchorman.
Yeah. Anchorman, yeah. What did he say? Was that what he said at the end of it?
And fuck you, San Diego.
I think so. I think that's right on the teleprompter.
Yeah, who put a question mark on the teleprompter?
Something like that.
I'm Ron Burgundy. That was great. All right.
Don't read anything you put up there.
I don't know. I'll just say, and that's my thoughts. I don't know.
Classy.
Tis what it is.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Tweedledee,
Put me on the spot.
The preceding podcast is a product of Big Media and copyright 2024, all rights reserved.